planning to do these papercraft optical illusions for a long time now, and actually had planned to do it sometime in the next couple of weeks. And then last week, Jazza challenged everyone to do optical illusions. And so I figured now it must be the time. So into the mix came Jazza. So this is Jazza's avatar. He's a art YouTuber from Australia. He's very entertaining. And so I took his avatar and chopped it up and opened chopped it up and opened it up and then rearranged some things. I drew it in Photoshop, and I struggled to do clean line art. I usually, if I need to do clean line art, I draw in Illustrator, which I know is not the usual for people, but I did so many graphics back pre-COVID when I was working. I was doing graphics in Illustrator all the time, so I'm comfy in Illustrator. So this is actually in Illustrator. He sold a big box full of art supplies this year, so I'm having him sit on the giant box. And it's funny because if you don't know, you might think that it's not to scale. You might think that I made that box way, way, way big, but really it's kind of to scale. That's how big that thing was. It was so big. He could have probably sat on it. So this is an Illustrator. So Illustrator is a vector drawing program. So you're using these points, and I draw with a mouse, which, you know, seems challenging, but I like it. And here he is all finished. His eyes follow you as it goes around. This one actually turned out really good. I like this one a lot. The eyes following works really well in this one.
It looks better on camera than it does in person.
Yeah, they all kind of do. The camera, keeping it at the same angle helps. This is you guys sitting on the couch drawing. This is pretty typical. They stick their iPad cases on their knees like this and they draw on the couch. This is how you do. So tell us what you're doing.
I'm doing the Friday Night Funkin' girlfriend, but she's a mermaid now.
And I heard that Samuel was going to do a mermaid, so I decided to do a sassy pirate.
I love watching you guys on your iPads. I love how you're drawing with your fingers. Tyler's got an Apple Pencil that she got for her birthday, and she's still drawing with their fingers. And you guys, both of you, can zoom in and flip it upside down, and you don't get lost and confused. I would get so lost and confused. Here's Sam bringing in some shadows. The shadows on this one turned out really cute. All your shadows and highlights. You did a beautiful job of kind of matching the style of the original artwork with the mermaid. I was super impressed. So we used a template we found online that was sort of the basic shape. And this one's really simple because it's basically just you draw the thing and then you chop it up and move the ear up. And then when you're folding it, you just kind of fold the face back together again. And you get the cone shape that makes it a good effect. So Tyler drew hers with it cut up based on the original, and then Sam drew hers and I chopped it up. Did a lot of cutting out paper this week. I love your sassy pirate so much. I love her hand in her pocket, the look in her eye where she's like, you don't impress me.
I was originally going to do a hand on hip, but then I couldn't process how to draw the hand, so I just put it in a hot.
We need to do a hand day. We need to do like a hand week, maybe. Sam, your little mermaid is so adorable. Her eyes are a style that is a little bit not as convincing with the following, but it still works. It still works really well. Her little seashells, oh, so cute. So here I decided I wanted to make one of the ones that's sort of the classic dragon style of the paper folding optical illusions with the eyes following you. So I decided to make Oliver, who is based on a book that our friend Greg recently wrote. So this is Oliver, his dog, and Oliver was recently diagnosed with doggy diabetes, and Greg did a lot of research and decided to write a children's book about what he had learned. And it's nice because it lays out all the facts, but it's not scary. It kind of explains things. So if the kid has diabetes or if a loved one has diabetes, it doesn't even have to be a dog. It's kind of the same information regardless, and it, I think, presents it in an informative but not scary way. So here I am. I sketched Oliver based on the awesome illustrations in the book by Dave Reed, and I wanted to get it real close to the original illustrations. So I drew him, sketched him out, and then stuck him on this dragon shape. I used this dragon as my jumping off point, and then I sketched him out in Photoshop and printed him out and cut him out. I had done early versions based on the dragon, and he was not looking cute. I was kind of putting the features in the same places as the dragon, and when I finally just actually drew it based on Dave's drawings, yeah, it turned out way better. The first ones that I did, the ones that I sketched in Illustrator, the original dog ones, I had just gotten my second vaccine, and I was not feeling super great. And I don't know if one of the side effects for the vaccine is bad art, but that's what we got. That is what we got. So I printed him the sketch, and he was looking pretty good, but I wanted to color it real quick and make sure, because once you color things, they're gonna look really different, especially the highlights and shadows are gonna make a difference. And I was gonna do the final line art in Illustrator because Dave's line art is so clean. I'm sure he did it in Photoshop, but I wanted to match it, so I had to do it in Illustrator. Oh man, the amount of cutting I did just to get the dog looking good. Yeah, so I made him and he looks angry. And I went, uh-oh, but that was a minor change. So now here we are in Illustrator. So this is vector drawing. So you can see the little red line with the little dots kind of tracing the outline. Drawing with a mouse. People think I'm crazy. You guys are the ones that are good at drawing just freehand with your hands. Me, I have to work a lot harder to get goodness. Once I had the colors blocked in Illustrator, I took it back into Photoshop and did some shading. And that's what this is. Made his belly pink. Makes you want to rub his belly. This one's pretty cute. It's tough to get the mouth to line up on the first go, but it worked out eventually. Some last details. Clean up on the eyes.
Well, at least you can still zoom in.
In Photoshop, I can zoom in? Yes, I can. But you'll notice that it's not spinning wildly and it's not going into the pixel, which I think is how you get away with using your fingers. I mean, my fingers are fatter, but still, fingers are not as sharp.
Sharp.
So this is putting him together. I started by cutting him out, and I had these 2 extra pieces for ears because I was folding them over, so I needed the back of the ear to have the color on them. So I glued them on and then folded them and tried to figure out exactly where they needed to go. Once that was set, then I could fold it together. So I've got this diagram here of where exactly the folds go and which parts go where to make it work. And all of the dragons and dinosaurs and dogs and the ones that are this shape, they all go together the same way. So this is it going together. Those 2 pieces go together. So I was just lining them up and then taping it on the back and lining it up and taping it on the back. And lining it up, pinching it together, lining it up, taping it on the back. And there he is. And then the bottom is just folding it like a box. Super simple. I think if we were going to work on you guys's, like if we're going to put it on our Patreon, maybe we'll put them all on our Patreon. I think we should make the bases a little bit bigger because the bases were very small. Kind of awkward and small. Hey, Oliver.
Hello.
Looking good.
Pat, 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 pat.
The ears, I don't know if they make it so that the illusion doesn't work as well or if they make it so that it works better. A lot of times with dogs, people will have the ears kind of sticking off the top like it is in the drawing, just sticking off the top, but yeah. So here's the layouts for all of them, what they looked like before they were cut out and folded. That was a really fun project, and they turned out so cute. When we were shooting the final shots of them all, I had a little Lazy Susan, and I had our camera stand clamped to the Lazy Susan, and then I stuck everything in front of it, and I'd rotate the Lazy Susan so the camera would rotate around things in a consistent way. And it was so janky, and the Lazy Susan was really wobbly, but I think it turned out all right.
It turned out very, very perfect.
Very, very perfect. Aw, you're sweet. Thank you.